Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the final podcast of 2021 for the Singh Army team. We're very privileged to have with us today Man Singh from the Sikh History series. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Paji, you've just recently done season 5. Can you tell us a little bit about that and a little bit about what inspires you to do it and what's coming from you from 2022 with the Sikh History series podcast?
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So basically, over this last week, we've just done season 5 of the Sikh History series podcast, which is based on the Chote Sahibzade Shahidi and then the Shahidi of Moti Ram Mehraji. And basically, from us, we're just going to keep doing more and more. This is our love, this is our passion, this is our everything. And it started because reflecting on my own life, what made a difference was the Sakya that I was told when I was a child. When my mother told me Sakya, when I'd hear Sakya at the Gurdwara, when I'd see those pictures of the Shaheed Singhs at the Gurdwara, there was a story behind him, and that story grabbed hold of my soul. And when reflecting on it and looking at Gurbani, there's a Shabad in Gurbani that says, Sona Sakhi, Mana Jab Pyar. And I fully 100% Gurbani is the truth. And Maharaj is saying, Sona Sakhi, listening to the Sakya of our Gurus, our elders, our Shaheeds, Mana Jab Pyar, only love in your heart will develop. And what is love in the house of Sikhi? Love is bravery, love is courage, love is sacrifice, love is everything. Love is the home of Sikhi, it's where Sikhi is born. And it's the way we leave this earth as well. Sikhi is a journey of Pyar. And these Sakya in our children, they only open up Pyar. You tell a Sakya to a child, tell a Sakya to any of your relatives, you see their eyes open up. Like, whoa, really, wow. Like some of us got young children. When you tell them about the Char Sahibzade, about Guru Gobind Singh, they just, they give everything to you. For that moment that you're talking to them, giving them the Sakhi, everything is yours. 10 minutes later, when you say put the plate back, they'll look at you and not do it. But during the Sakhi, because the Sakhi holds something, it holds courage and it holds the keys to our faith. So from me, I'm just going to continue this labour of love.
Do you find it hard? Like, me listening to it, I get emotional because it's such a rich history, but it is such a sad story at the same time as well. When you're recording it, do you ever get emotional when you're recording it?
Every recording I've done has been based off emotion. Everything I do is just emotion and pyar. There's very little calculation. I'll write it up on a prayer, but when I press that record button and I start, the emotion just comes itself. And I did a talk recently at Basics of Sikhi Camp, and as I was finishing, I said emotion's so important, but emotion is nothing. Emotion means nothing and it stands for nothing. What's emotion? Emotion is nothing. It's a moment in time. What means everything is action. And what I'm saying is, if you're in a fight, you're a fighter, you're a soldier. In that fight, when you're in a fight, what does emotion do? Scared, angry, happy. How does that help you in the fight? It doesn't. What helps you is action, forward motion, punching the jab, getting inside position, getting headlock, getting arm bars, takedowns. The actions make everything. And through the Sakya, what we need to do is develop and bring out the actions. What did the Singhs and Singh of old do? Did they give up and did they fold when things got hard? Did they want to live the easy life? Did they walk the easy path, or did they perform the action of, what, no matter what, Dharam is everything, Sikhi is everything. I'm going to follow that hard line path. I'm going to follow the path of love.
In terms of in the history now, we've got it in English and we've got it, Gyani Sher Singh and other renowned people in the Panth have narrated the sacrifice of the Sahibzade. Do you think animation, do you think the film done it justice? Do you think there's more that we can do with the visuals on the Sahibzade and the history of the Sahibzade?
We will never be able to do justice. That Sakhi and what those warriors done, we could live 1,000 lifetimes and spend each lifetime trying to do justice to that Sakha and what those Shaheed Singhs done, what the children of Guru Gobind Singhs done, and we won't even able to fulfill a shinamatra of anything. The film is awesome. My children watch the film and they get pumped off it. They go, oh, look, Guru Gobind Singh fired the arrow, hit that guy in the eye. Guru Gobind Singh's a savage. He's not scared of anyone. We want a bow and arrow. At the same time, me as an adult watching it, I'm inspired. But then I look at it and I think the animation was not the best animation. The acting, the moving, we could make a million times better as animations. You could tell that story with stick figures drawn and people would still cry and bow down at that story because of the story. We could make we could put manga cartoons, we could do anything. And because of the Saki, it will just blow the world away. And I think it's only just that we tell our story and we keep telling our story. And some people say to me, even my own friends, they say, you tell the same Sakya over and over again. You always tell the same Sakya, you always tell the same things. I'm like, bro, you do the same Nindya over and over again. You eat the same chips and pizza over and over again. Oda Rajandani. And the same way, Sano Eda Rajanyane would never quench our thirst for the love of hearing these Sakya. When we go to the Gurdwara, any of us sitting here, when we go to the Gurdwara, we sit down and the Granthi Singh's telling the story of the Sahibs are there. Bam, we're there, we don't move. It grabs hold of your soul, and you know what, we're going to keep doing it. And everyone's going to do, all of us here are going to do it. This is the same. We're going to spread those Sakya here to our children, to our grandchildren. As long as Maharaj gives us breath in these bodies, our ardas is this, Maharaj, just let's keep telling your Sakya of your warriors.
I think the biggest thing that I get from this Saki is the sacrifice of the sons. Because one thing where our gurus, our Lalo leaders are different from any other leaders in the world is, sacrificing their own. Very, very few leaders have ever done that, sacrificing their own children. And even today, I'm fortunate enough to be a father. There's a lot of people listening to this that might be a parent. Paying to yourself is one thing. Paying to your child is a deeper pain. And for Guru Gobind Singh Ji to sacrifice all his 4 children, that's what I get from this Saki the most, because it's such a hard thing to contemplate and to really do. And it's only Guru Sahibs that set that example for us.
It's beyond contemplation. We will never be able to understand who Guru Sahib was. We can live 1,000 lifetimes, like I say, but to really understand who the Guru was and what the house of Sikhi is, we will never understand. My understanding is I will never understand. I'm just an ant on this path, but I'm just in love and I'm in awe of what the Gurus did. Every single Guru, because they're all the same, they're all one and the same, they're all Rabb Parameshwar themselves, and Parameshwar ta sara kuch kar sakta hai. Everything in front of Parameshwar is nothing.
Baji, what can we expect from the Sikh History Series next year, 2022? What kind of things have you got lined up, penciled in?
It's an interesting question. I say expect nothing.
Okay.
You know what? The thing is, it doesn't belong to anyone or anything. It's just the telling of the Sakya. Like, I was talking to a Singh earlier in the Langar Hall, and he was saying to me, I've listened to the podcast and I keep telling people about it. And I go, bro, you're in love. You're in love with someone and you keep telling them, that person's amazing, awesome. You keep telling them, going the Ustad. And the same, we're in love with the Sakya and the path of Sikhi. That's why we keep talking about it. Bro, like, how many years have I known you? How many years have I known the guys in this room? Whenever we meet, we talk about Sikhi. It's very rare that we'll talk about something else. Like occasionally we do like UFC or whatever, but mainly it's Sikhi. And we say the same Sakya to each other all the time. We always talk about Mahapurush, we always talk about Sikhi, we always talk about the Guru. And every time we're just as hype. I don't think there's a time where, bro, chill out, I've heard enough. We're always, it's beautiful. It's too much. It's too much. And we're just mere mortals living in like flesh bag bodies. And, we're just, while we're in this body, just enjoy this Sakya.
Shall I take your first answer as your final answer? Expect nothing.
Yeah, expect nothing. I'm a loser. I'm gotcha. To see kirpa karo, do ardas, and bam, I try to do something.
We've felt very inspired, and Maharaj kirpa karan, and we look forward to whatever comes out next, and we eagerly await it, Paji. It's a really big seva.
And saying that, I'm looking forward to you guys in the Singh Army podcast and everything. I look forward to every episode, and I'm there. Every time I'm in the car, I'll bang it and I'll listen to what's going on and what's the vichar of these Singhs, like-minded Singhs, and what are they teaching, what are they going through, what are they sharing. And I believe I believe in this platform, and I believe in the Singhs here because it's a forge, and you know what, ek dusre no honsla dena. And the reason this podcast is important is because this is the Sangat of the Sangatless. people out there who live in places where there's no Sangat, people live in, for example, just off the top of my head, Telford or Oxford, they might not have any other Singhs or Singh around them, and it's important for good Soch and clean Soch, Sikhi based Soch to be available to them, because the Galjug Soch of your friends and stuff like that's there all the time, and that can always influence you. But you know what, to have good Singhs doing stuff, man.
Thank you, Baji. But one of the things we do want to do in 2022 is do more current affairs. So as we go forward, we do want to cover what's going on and what's a hot topic at the time. Unfortunately, recently we've had a very big thing occur in the community, which was the suicide of a young man from Manchester, Deepy Singh. Baji, can you just tell the Sangat a few details of what happened and just a few details on, I'm sure a lot of people have heard, but just a few details on that case.
So I think everybody knows about that case, and it was heartbreaking for all of us. And like Baji said, Sikhi is for the Nimane, for the people that haven't got anything. It's for the Nitane who haven't got any support, and that's what we're trying to put out really in the podcast. Along with that, obviously, the events that we're doing. So these events, whatever they are, whether it's just for fun, like the Spartan Race or something like that, it's a chance for everybody to meet up. So for people that haven't got Sangat to kind of travel down, with the Gay Sambal, which Baji, which I want you to touch on, is we're seeing people come from all different parts of the UK, really, to try and get inspired and that kind of thing. So I think from us, just expect more of that really, and really I want to shout out the events that we're doing. So I'd like Baji to tell us a little bit more about that.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So before we go on to what we got planned for 2022, we'll just briefly touch on what we did in 2021. As you've probably already heard, we started off with the Spartan Race.
Which was big. How many people did we get for that?
We got approximately 40 people.
Yeah.
Age ranges from teens all the way up to, thankfully I wasn't the oldest, I think someone else in their 40s. But that was a 5k sprint. I don't know about anyone else, but that was more than 5k. I don't care what they say.
There was loads of hills.
Yeah.
As soon as you start, is a hill straight away. A massive one. And one guy who's like a strong runner there, Jas, he goes, you have to get a good time, you have to be aggressive with the hills, attack the hills. So I went with him, and I haven't done no training for this. First hill came, biggest hill there, ran up, sprinted up it, tried to keep up with him, and that was me. And after that, I couldn't run.
No, but I think everyone will agree that was a really successful event. Huge sense of achievement, and it brought different people from our community together as well, who necessarily probably wouldn't do anything together. Later on, we moved on to, I think it's August time, we had the cricket match to raise awareness about the Three Singhs case. Weather was rubbish, as usual with England, but my team came out on top, just saying. We finished off with the game at St George's Park, which is England's training headquarters, against Punjabi Wolves, who were brilliant.
No, Punjabi Villains,
that's the one. Who were brilliant in helping us with that event.
Really good lad, Ricky Chima and all the boys. They're really good lads. They're doing a lot of good work.
That Wolves was just banter.
They're all the same, ain't they? No, again, that was a really, really good event, and I don't know, but does everyone realise where they were playing? That's what I'll say. But no, 2022, we're looking at possibly again hiring out Villa Park and playing a match there. Also look at a few other different things with the cricket, maybe looking at Edgbaston cricket ground to see what we can do. But and definitely the Spartan again, I think that was a huge success. Again, that will be July time, but just keep a lookout for all the events. And I'd like to say thank you to all the Sevadar who helped out. Without them, it's nothing. The amount of running around that goes on in the background, it makes it all worthwhile. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
And like one for the song that, you let us know what we need to be doing more of. So obviously there's a lot of sports based events that we've done, and we're going to do more of. But also I think we're going to be doing youth clubs and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, back to the other events, what you're mentioning. Obviously we all attended the Guru Arjan Dev Ji Godhara Derby gym. Yeah. So they had a competition recently, and it was an amazing event. There was few Sevadars from Singh Army team there as well, and it was packed. It was absolutely packed weightlifting event, And one thing that I was massively impressed with was the amount of girls competing. You know, there was girls competing, lifting big weights. Go onto their Instagram page, go onto their Facebook page, and have a look at that event. And that was a hugely successful event.
I think if you look at the lads there that are running the gym as well, they've done a bang-up job. The way it's kitted out, the artwork in the God. If anything was going to be inspiring, it's the artwork that's in that gym. I mean, they've done a really good job. It's literally money's not been an object.
Hundreds of thousands they've spent. And a lot of that, people are not aware with what the logistics of a Gurdwara gym. That is investment in the community. You're never really going to make that back.
And I think that's the Sevadars there. They've seen that. They're like, all this money we're putting in, we're not looking at recuperating. It's all about getting the Sangha to come to the Gurdwara, getting the Naujawan, the younger generations into the Gurdwara some way, somehow. And to be fair, that gym is heaving, especially on that day when the event was happening. The amount of local Sangha, there was hundreds there. There's 200 to 300 people there in that event. Amazing.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking into kind of other events as well. So I know in Coventry we're going to be starting a youth club, which will Singh Army podcast Sevadar is going to be helping out in. So at the local Gurdwara. So you know, as well as that, you know, other kind of events. So really, it's a plea to the Sangat. Really, let us know what you want us to be doing more of. And
podcast wise, we're going to try and delve deeper into some of the events surrounding 1984. Like I've said as well earlier on. We want to be doing more current event stuff, so things that are hot off the press, we want to try and cover it. We know some good Sevadars, some good people in the community who are kind of first line Seva, who are there on the scene at whatever's going on. So linking up with them, telling the wider community, because unfortunately we do have a lot of cases of missing people in the community. You know, things are not going right at home, and the only, unfortunately at the time, they see the way out is running away from home, which is a concern for everyone, because although it might seem a small thing for a young person to go missing for a few hours, there's a lot of predators out there who see vulnerable people, and they could try and take advantage of them. So that's always massively the concern. So all these kind of things we are going to try and cover. Like I said, with the 1984 podcast, we're going to based on Harjinder Singh Nick, he's just a card publisher's. He's just an amazing podcast. Baji, tell us a little bit about that podcast, what it covered, and you heard all of it, and just give a bit of feedback on that podcast.
Yeah, so Harjinder Singh, obviously, as most people know of him, runs a card publishers, and he was very close to Baba Thakur Singh Mahapurush, whose Barsi, so yearly memory, we just kind of celebrated last week, and he did a podcast on them and their Jeevan, and bits that he got from them, learnt from them, a little bit about their Jeevan, a little bit about what they did in terms of around 84, pre-84, post-84 particularly, and I think what we want to do on the follow-up of that, just generally, but what we were planning anyway, is looking a little bit deeper into those years of what happened and how the Singhs went through some very, very difficult times, and some of the things that they had to do, and looking at that greatness. And I think it very much links, the purpose for that is exactly what Man Singh was talking about when we talk about listening to the Sakya. Like, we will, a lot of the time, we almost differentiate Guru Kal to the after Guru Gobind Singh Ji. It's weird, isn't it? Like, we'll say, we're going to talk about Maharaj's Sakya from Maharaj's times, but actually this is Maharaj's time still. This is the time of Badshah 11वीं Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So even after Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, everything that's happened within the Khalsa Panth, that is our history, that is our inspiration. So just as much as the Sahibjade or anything, because it is still Guru Kal, it is still the time of the Guru, it's still the time of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So we need to look into in modern day, and I think it's really important as well, because we've got a society that is wanting and needing, and touching upon what you've talked about there, people running away from home, and all of these things that are occurring in people's lives. We've got a society that has a void in it. You could say maybe it's become worse because of social media. People feel disconnected, and there's a big, massive rise across the world, especially in the UK, of people getting involved in meditation and mindfulness and all of this kind of stuff, because it's that attachment to something. But actually, if we open up our Khajana of our Sakya, our history, we'll see that all the answers are in there. Like Guru Sahib Ji says, Piyo Dadde ka khol dittha khajana ta mere man pe anidana. That actually, when you open the khajana of our forefathers, all the jewels, everything in that you could ever ask for is there. So I think that's a big thing for us, is trying to open up a little bit more of more recent history, and take that same inspiration that we found from the Sevja, the Sakya and everything else, and just kind of trying to help and implement that into our life. And I think that's the key for us, is that we want people to take what's out there, but take the good that you see in it and try to implement that into your life.
Let's go off the back of that, Bayi. Let's go straight on to current affairs. So I'll do the headline, and then whoever wants to go next, feel free. Crossbow chilling moment. Masked man with crossbow threatens to kill Queen in vid sent to pals minutes before cops arrest man. 19 years old, going by the name of Jaswant Singh Chel.
Yeah, I think with that one, Baji, I think it's a pretty rare case. And you got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt, especially with news headlines. And I look how they try to. You can't really divulge too much into it, but I think with that one, it's mainly a mental health case, and it touches on that topic where we're having a lot of those issues within our Panth as a Qawm, as a community of mental health. And I don't think the awareness is there, because I think the papers interviewed his parents, and I think their reply was something's gone terribly wrong with our son and we don't know what's happened. Again, as Gurdwara, as communities, we need to be able to make a Gurdwara safe space for people to come and talk about this sort of things, especially for parents as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and the thing is that I've been following the threads on this. So the newspapers, who can never differentiate when they say Asian grooming gangs, they can never be more specific than that. But they've managed to say in here, in their article, that he's an Indian Sikh.
Yeah.
So thank you for that for the Sun newspaper. But whenever there's an Asian grooming gang, they can never give specifics.
Definitely. I think we touched on this in our last podcast as well about the BRB issues, where, what do you expect from the media, especially this Western society's media? We don't even back home in Punjab, we get labelled as extremists and terrorists. Let's stop pandering to them. You know what I mean? Let's stop buying into their false narrative that we're what they try to be neutrals or everybody's friends. They've got an agenda. They always have.
You know what? If you look at
headlines sell the papers, so they need to make something juicy in order for them to make that money.
If you look at some of the threads online and some of the newspapers and some of the other things, and people are like, this is the radicalization we were talking about. They're doing the same in India and they're doing the same here. So whenever it's a Caucasian person doing a terrorist attack, it's mental health, he's a loner, he's a lone wolf, it's an isolated incident. Okay, but this one, they're saying, no, it's all linked together. But in his statement, the perpetrator's statement, he has said, my name was Jaswant Singh Chel, my name is now Darth Jones. And he has also said he is a part of the Jedi Knights and worships the dark side of the Force. But they won't classify that as mental health issue. They will say, you know what, he's a Sikh. And this is the thing that we're talking about with the media. And they can clearly see that he's got mental health issues. But there's people who are completely dismissing that, saying, no. This is what that lot are like.
Look, I'm not one to talk up the police or anything, but even the police have sectioned him under the Mental Health Act straight away. And, in other cases where it's a case of, I think in one of the news articles, it said it's revenge for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre from 1919. I haven't seen his video or anything where he said that himself. It probably is out there, but all I can say is, again, this media, let's stop pandering to it. They're never going to give us a fair fight. They're always going to label us as extremists because we're different. We're the Khalsa. We're always going to be different. We're never going to be, fully integrated into their society like they want us to be. So let's not expect them to accept that.
I think it's maybe coincidental, maybe not coincidence that it's fallen at the same time they're trying to pass this new bill. the new nationality bill. And now that is a prime example where they could get the...
So, buddy, I'm going to put another spin on this now, yeah? We're talking current affairs. Everything's happening at once, yeah?
No, but just to finish that point...
Just to bring it all together.
Yeah.
So... We've had the BRB issues from Darbar Sahib that happened just over a week ago, yeah? Then there was a Ludhiana bomb blast that happened earlier this week as well. Initially, when it was happened, the current CM of Punjab, Charanjit Channi, turned around and said, it's the Duji party, it's the Akali Dals that have had it done. Then, Central Sarkar, the BJP government, got their hand in and they said, no, it's the Khalistanis that have done it. And just today, this morning, I read a news article where... and Apna Singh's been picked up from Germany, all linked to this. Again, you touched on that, the bill that Priti Patel's trying to pass, the taking back your nationality, whatever it is, It's all linked. I don't believe in coincidences. Stuff doesn't just happen off a whim. Everything's always pre-planned and premeditated. So now you're telling me it's a coincidence that within the space of 10-15 days, you've had a BRB issue targeting Sikhs. You've had a bomb blast within our Punjab where initially it's a whole different range of people. It's a political game. But then within 24 hours, the central government's turned around and said, no, it's the Sikhs that have done it. Then you've had the German police, which they've had a history for before, when they sent back Professor Devendrapal Singh Pullar to India, where they've just arrested another Singh on the say-so of in the Indian government. I don't believe in coincidences. All these things happen for a reason. And now we're touching on this lad who clearly in that video that he's made, he's not talking sense, where he's joined the Sith, he's part of Star Wars and all that, and he wants to kill the Queen. And now they want to try label us as an extremist race. We don't fit in. Nothing's a coincidence, Paji.
Definitely, and that's what I'm saying. This gives perfect opportunity for the Daily Mail, Daily Sun readers to sit at home and say, see, this is why we need this bill, to get rid of things like this. And, the timeline of events where he's posted the video and somehow, within a few minutes, he's then at Windsor Castle. I don't know how it did occur. But these, again, we don't know enough details of it yet. He hasn't had an interview. He's been sectioned immediately. Maybe if we do find out more details, we can discuss it further. But, given it on the merit of what we know, it does seem a bit fishy of the timing of it with the Nationality and Borders Bill.
Nationality and Borders Bill, you hit. But again, what was he caught carrying? A crossbow? It could be another angle. They're always going after Akrapan.
Yeah, you're right.
It could be another angle to try and take our Shastar office. So these are all things as a Panth we have to be wary of.
Yeah.
As secure as Buckingham Palace is, how did he even manage to get in?
Sorry, say that again, please, Budgie.
I said as secure as Buckingham Palace is, or wherever he tried to get in. How was he even able to get in? That's true. With a crossbow.
He apparently climbed a ladder with a crossbow.
With a crossbow, no one clocked
on Christmas Day, while they had other royals there. So it was a high security day because they had other royals there.
And the newspaper article read he was 500 within 500 meters of
so he'd already
the Queen's apartments.
Yeah, it's just how did he even manage to get that far in?
Yeah.
You got to link it all together.
Yeah, so and there's Sikh organisations that have come out and have said, we apologise and we condemn this, but there's these same people that are not condemning the attack on the Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj at Harmandir Sahib.
As long as we keep paying our taxes like we do, that's all I'm concerned about, really, isn't it?
Again, Buddy, I think we touched on this in the last podcast. It's a case where if you've got a platform, if you haven't got anything good to say, it's best just to keep quiet.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Don't be talking for the whole Panth when clearly you're not talking for the whole Panth.
Yeah, of course not. We're a group of Singhs here and we're sharing our views with our platform, and we're not saying that we represent the Panth, but we're just giving a viewpoint out there, and I think that's always important to remember. And going forward, that's what we'll try and do. We'll try and discuss as many things as possible with the information that we have. Information may change, and then accordingly we can discuss it further.
Yeah, you touched on future podcasts we're going to be doing. Definitely going to be doing some on the politics of Punjab as the elections are coming up in February. So like we said before, expect a lot more stuff to be going on in Punjab, and we will try to keep our ears to the ground and keep everyone in the loop.
With just touching on that, Punjab is, so with this Nationality and Borders Act that's coming into play, I think one thing that a lot of people have realised is for the last 20 to 30 years, second and third generation Sikhs who are in this country, they've been selling their land. So they've been selling their land in Punjab, in India, to buy bigger or additional houses here. And now we're in a situation where we could potentially have our nationality removed, and we've sold our assets, our land, our houses in the Punjab, and people that still have got their houses or land or jameen, what would you advise to them, Paji?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, by all means, I'm always a firm believer you're only really truly from somewhere if you've got some sort of possession there as well. Like Itti, we've got our houses here, so we can get something. We've got deeds with our names on it. With Punjab, it's for us, it's such a spiritual place as well as it's sentimental, and it's only ever going to stay sentimental if we keep our jameen there, if we keep hold of the land and everything there. But again, we touch on that topic of nationalities and this, that, the other. If they take our nationality away from here, you really think the Indian regime is going to accept us there for who we are? It's a double-edged sword. We're gonna be leaving from here with nowhere to go and pleading with a government that's already committed sacrilege on us and killing us from our roots to take us in.
But
so it's a tricky road ahead.
Can you just clarify the Indian constitution? Are we recognised as Sikhs, or are we still recognised as long-haired Hindus?
Kesatari Hindus, as per the Indian constitution. That's our identity, as per India. Which is not considering the post-partition, the bravery of Sikhs, and to get the British out.
And that is why we are a community, we are a qawm that when we tick in the box other and we put Sikh, and these are the reasons why. This is why a lot of us, so whoever does that, that's absolutely fine. But whoever does put Indian, who does, that's fine. But for us, we don't, because until they recognise us for who we are and what we are, and until we're safe and we're not targeted for our beliefs and our way of life, it's very hard for us to identify as that.
We do these, these small things, innit? Whether it's tick other in the box or anything like that. We do these as like small steps towards self-determination. We totally get it. It's quite like, it might seem quite small, it might seem quite trivial to a lot of people, but we do that because there's small steps to kind of recognizing ourselves as an independent people. So Kesatari Hindu, that's always been in the Indian constitution. Actually, not that long ago, we got the Ananda Marriage Act, where the Ananda Karaj wasn't recognized as an official form of marriage, form of marriage by law.
I missed that by a year.
So that wasn't actually very long ago at all, and it's actually Sikh parties that push for that. So you can see there's a real kind of difference between like what Sikh centric parties, whatever they're like, are trying to achieve in the Indian kind of national political space. So that kind of just shows. And Indian, so why do we dislike the term Indian so much? Why does it really bug us? It's because India is a kind of a failed colonial project, I think, as someone described it once, and it's really, really bang on. It's chucking together loads of different cultures, which are all kind of commonly enslaved by the British. And that's why we kind of take offense to it, because we don't really want to recognize ourselves as that. We want to recognize ourselves as an Azad Punjab.
Baji, we're just going to wrap it up now. Tell everyone, the listeners, what we've been doing with the Gear Sambal this year, where we've been, how many places we've done, the camps, and what the plans are for next year before we call it a day.
Okay, so with the Gear Sambal, to wrap it up in a few minutes, it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to give a very, very brief synopsis. So Gear Sambal, as it says, is Gear, so your long uncut hair, Sambal, looking after them. And there's different forms. They're telling me to move my face close to the mic, innit? So look, So there's different forms of looking after your case. There's obviously being able to comb and wash your case, and then there's being able to look after your case when from an outside person tries to attack, grab, pull your bug off, all those different things. So we've been addressing each and every aspect of looking at your case, looking after your case, from mothers combing their children's case to children washing their own case, routines and methods and timetables to how to be able to learn to tie a gutti and jura and the star and bug, providing the star material, providing kange, showing how to respect and look after a kanga, how to respect, wash, look after your star, how to do sanskar of your case afterwards. So every aspect of looking after your case. Other things, with a lot of videos coming out in the last 2 to 3 years of Gursikhs in India and in England being bullied, have their patka pulled and becoming victims because of the way they look, and people using that as an excuse to cut their case or step away from the sarup. We've said no, people are going to be bullied regardless. There's bullies, there's people who get bullied, and then there's people who stand up to him, and we're making our children those who stand up to him, building our children's confidence, building their vocabulary and jawab when they give an answer back to someone when they ask about their case, and then showing them physical martial techniques of how to restrain someone who's trying to grab and pull your case. And that's for boys, girls, old bibiyan, old babe. It's for everyone. Case Sambal in this in the last Case Sambal started with me and you, bro, sitting down at your house while you were watching a football match.
FA Cup final day.
Yeah, man wasn't listening. But it was us talking, because we love all we do, all of us here, all we do is talk about Sikhi Maharaj Kirpa. And it was born from a place of pain. It was born because we were feeling the dukh of our kids getting bullied, and every single Sikh kid is our kid. And we thought, you know what, if we can do something, if Guruji ne kuch kirpa kiti, like Guruji's done different kirpa on everyone, and with us we felt, you know what, we can do something for this. So we started that self-defense seminars, and we've been to, so we've done Sikhi camps in Smevik, in Handsworth, different areas in Birmingham. We've done Coventry today. We just finished Coventry today with excellent turnout, brilliant feedback from the Sangat. We've done East London, we've done Derby, and we are gonna do everywhere that we can get to over the next however long Maharaj does Kirpa and keeps us healthy. We're just going to keep doing it and helping our children, helping everyone that we can in terms of this case Sambal Uprallah.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Okay, everyone, wish you all the best for the what do they call this calendar?
2021, 2022.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that. So wish everyone the best for the new year, and catch you all on our New Year's podcast. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.